Welcome the spicy lady. Some people carry a kind of peace that cannot be explained. You feel it long before you understand it. There is something unusual about certain women. It is not beauty, status, popularity, or the ability to impress others. It is something much harder to describe. A quiet presence, a deep sense of awareness, a natural ability to bring comfort, clarity, and understanding wherever they go. Many people call this an angelic vibration. For Spicy Lady Sigma, this experience can be confusing. Throughout their lives, they often feel different without knowing why. They notice things others miss. They sense emotions that are never spoken aloud. They are drawn to truth, depth, and meaningful connections, while feeling disconnected from things that seem artificial or superficial. Because of this, many Spicy Lady Sigmas spend years questioning themselves instead of recognizing the rare qualities they possess. What makes this even more interesting is that the people around them often notice these qualities long before they do. Friends, strangers, and even complete acquaintances may feel comfortable opening up to them. Their words can leave a lasting impact. Their presence can bring a sense of calm during difficult moments. Yet many Spicy Lady Sigma dismiss these traits as ordinary because they have lived with them their entire lives. But what if these qualities are not ordinary? What if the very things they have been overlooking are actually some of their greatest strengths? In this video, we will explore 10 wise traits Spicy Lady Sigma carry this angelic vibration, why it affects the people around them so deeply, and most importantly, why accepting it may be one of the most important decisions they ever make. Stay with us until the end, because the final insight may completely change the way you see yourself. Let's dive deeper, Spicy Lady. Number 1, they possess a rare kind of emotional purity. One of the most overlooked qualities of a Spicy Lady Sigma is something that has become surprisingly rare in today's world. It is emotional purity. This does not mean she is perfect. She gets hurt. She makes mistakes. She has bad days just like everyone else. Emotional purity is not about perfection. It is about intention. Many people move through life with hidden agendas. They say one thing but mean another. They form friendships based on what they can gain. They create unnecessary conflict, spread gossip, or play emotional games to feel powerful. After a while, these behaviors become so common that people start seeing them as normal. A Spicy Lady Sigma often operates differently. When she is kind, she usually means it. When she offers support, it is not because she expects a reward later. When she listens, she genuinely tries to understand. There is a sincerity in her actions that many people can feel even if they cannot explain it. Think about the last time you met someone who left you feeling lighter after a conversation. They were not trying to impress you. They were not secretly competing with you. They were simply present and genuine. That kind of experience stays with people because it has become uncommon. What makes this quality even more powerful is that Spicy Lady Sigma often do not realize they have it. They assume everyone approaches relationships with the same honesty and good intentions. Unfortunately, life eventually teaches them otherwise. This is one reason they are sometimes disappointed by people. They expect the same level of sincerity they freely give. They believe words should match actions. They believe trust should mean something. When they discover manipulation or deception, it affects them deeply because those behaviors feel foreign to their nature. Yet this emotional purity is not a weakness. It is a strength that should be protected. In a world where many people wear masks, authenticity has become a form of courage. The truth is, people may forget what a Spicy Lady Sigma said. They may forget where they met her, but they rarely forget how she made them feel. Genuine intentions leave an imprint that no performance can ever match. And that quiet sincerity is part of the angelic vibration she carries without even realizing it. Number 2, their strength is gentle, not aggressive. They don't need intimidation to be respected. Their strength often appears as patience, self-control, emotional maturity. One of the biggest misconceptions people have about strength is that it must be loud, forceful, and intimidating. Many people think the strongest person is the one who argues the hardest, dominates every conversation, or makes others feel small. But a Spicy Lady Sigma often proves something very different. Her strength is not built on aggression. It is built on control. Anyone can lose their temper. Anyone can react without thinking. Anyone can allow emotions to take over in difficult moments. Real strength begins when a person has every reason to react, but chooses wisdom instead. This is where the spicy Lady Sigma stands apart. When chaos erupts around her, she often becomes calmer, not louder. When others are caught up in drama, she focuses on solutions instead of adding fuel to the fire. While some people are controlled by every emotion they feel, she understands the value of patience and self-restraint. Think about a family crisis, a workplace conflict, or a friendship falling apart. Most people immediately take sides, raise their voices, and allow emotions to dictate their actions. A spicy Lady Sigma is more likely to observe carefully before speaking. She understands that one thoughtful response can accomplish more than 100 emotional reactions. This does not mean she is weak or passive. In fact, some of the strongest women in the world appear gentle on the surface. They do not waste energy proving their toughness because they already know who they are. They can be compassionate without being naive, kind without being easily used, forgiving without allowing repeated disrespect. That balance is rare. One of the reasons people are drawn to spicy Lady Sigma is because they provide stability in situations where others become overwhelmed. Their emotional maturity creates a sense of reassurance. People feel that no matter how difficult things become, this woman will not panic at the first sign of trouble. The truth is, aggression often comes from insecurity. People become loud when they feel unheard. They become controlling when they feel powerless. But genuine strength has no need to advertise itself. A spicy Lady Sigma understands that remaining grounded during difficult times is a superpower. Her calm is not weakness. Her patience is not passivity. Her gentleness is not fragility. It is strength in its most refined form. And that quiet strength is one of the clear signs of the angelic vibration she carries. Number 3. They heal people without realizing. A conversation with them can stay in someone's mind for months. One of the most fascinating things about a spicy Lady Sigma is that she often changes lives without ever intending to. She is not trying to be a healer. She is not trying to become someone's mentor or guide. In fact, many times she has no idea that her words, actions, or presence have had any significant impact at all. Yet they do. There are people walking around today carrying advice, encouragement, or wisdom that a spicy Lady Sigma shared years ago. While she may have forgotten the conversation completely, the other person remembers it as if it happened yesterday. Why? Because genuine healing rarely comes from grand speeches or dramatic moments. More often, it comes from simple acts of understanding. Imagine someone going through a difficult season in life. Maybe they have lost confidence in themselves. Maybe they are struggling with heartbreak, rejection, or self-doubt. Most people offer quick solutions or empty phrases, but a spicy Lady Sigma often does something different. She listens. She pays attention. She responds with sincerity rather than judgment. Sometimes a person has spent months feeling invisible until they encounter someone who truly hears them. That experience alone can be life-changing. Think about how many people are carrying silent battles. The friend who smiles while dealing with anxiety. The coworker who seems fine but feels completely overwhelmed. Family members never talk about their struggles. A spicy Lady Sigma has a unique ability to notice what others overlook. What makes this even more powerful is that her healing energy does not come from having all the answers. It comes from making people feel understood. There is a huge difference. People do not always need someone to solve their problems. Sometimes they simply need one person who sees their pain without dismissing it. One person who reminds them they are not alone. Years later, someone might say, "That conversation changed my life." Meanwhile, the spicy Lady Sigma is often surprised because she thought she was just being herself. That is the beauty of her gift. It is natural. It is effortless. It flows from compassion, emotional awareness, and genuine care for others. The truth is, some people leave impressions. A spicy Lady Sigma often leaves healing, and many lives become better because of it, even when she never realizes the role she played in their transformation. Number 4. Their presence can feel stabilizing because they do not escalate chaos easily. One of the most powerful qualities a spicy Lady Sigma possesses is something that often goes unnoticed until life becomes difficult. It is her ability to remain emotionally balanced when everything around her feels unstable. In a world where people react instantly, where emotions spread faster than facts, and where small misunderstandings can turn into major conflicts overnight. This quality is incredibly rare. Most people have experienced situations where one problem suddenly becomes 10 problems. Someone gets offended, another person reacts emotionally, assumptions take over, and before long the original issue is almost forgotten. What started as a simple misunderstanding becomes unnecessary drama. A spicy Lady Sigma often interrupts that cycle without even trying. When tension rises, her first instinct is usually not to panic or react. She observes, she listens, she takes time to understand what is actually happening before deciding how to respond. That may sound simple, but it is a skill many people never develop. Think about a workplace disagreement. Everyone is frustrated. Voices are getting louder. People are blaming each other. While others are focused on winning the argument, the spicy Lady Sigma is focused on understanding the problem. She realizes that emotional reactions rarely solve practical issues. The same thing happens in friendships and family relationships. While some people add fuel to a fire, she often brings water. This does not mean she ignores problems or avoids difficult conversations. In fact, she is often willing to address uncomfortable truths. The difference is that she does not allow emotions to completely take control of her judgment point. One reason people feel calm around spicy Lady Sigma is because they create a sense of emotional stability. Their energy communicates something powerful without words. We can handle this, and that reassurance matters more than most people realize. Life is full of uncertainty. Everyone faces moments when they feel overwhelmed, confused, or emotionally exhausted. During those moments, people naturally gravitate toward individuals who remain grounded. The truth is, chaos is contagious. But it is so calm that a spicy Lady Sigma understands that not every battle deserves a reaction, not every criticism deserves a response, and not every problem deserves panic. Sometimes the strongest thing a person can do is stay centered while everything else is spinning. That ability to remain steady in turbulent moments is one of the reasons her presence feels so stabilizing. She does not simply survive chaos. She often becomes the calm that helps others find their way through it. Number 5. They attract both healing and dependency. Healthy people feel inspired around them. Unhealthy people often become emotionally dependent on them. One of the most challenging realities a spicy Lady Sigma eventually learns is that not everyone is drawn to her for the same reason. Some people are inspired by her. Others become dependent on her. At first, the difference can be difficult to spot because both types of people may seem appreciative, affectionate, and eager to be around her. But over time, their true intentions reveal themselves. Healthy people see the spicy Lady Sigma as a source of inspiration. They admire her emotional strength, wisdom, and calm nature. They learn from her, grow because of her influence, and then continue building their own lives. They appreciate her presence without making her responsible for their happiness. Unhealthy people often approach things differently. Instead of being inspired by her strength, they begin leaning on it too heavily. They start expecting her to solve every emotional crisis. They rely on her for constant reassurance. Their mood begins to depend on her availability, attention, or approval. Without realizing it, the spicy Lady Sigma can slowly become their emotional life support system. This happens because many spicy Lady Sigma are naturally compassionate. They listen when others need support. They offer understanding when people are struggling. They genuinely care about helping others heal. But compassion without boundaries can become a heavy burden. Imagine having a friend who calls every time something goes wrong, but disappears when things are going well. Or someone who expects you to carry their emotional weight while never taking responsibility for their own growth. At first, it may feel like helping. Eventually, it becomes exhausting. This is where many spicy Lady Sigma learn an important life lesson. Not everyone who needs help is ready to heal. Some people want comfort without change. They want support without responsibility. They want someone else to carry problems they should be learning to face themselves. Healthy people use support as a bridge. Unhealthy people sometimes use it as a permanent crutch. The challenge for the spicy Lady Sigma is recognizing the difference. She must understand that being kind does not mean becoming someone's emotional caretaker. Being compassionate does not mean sacrificing her own peace. And helping someone does not mean accepting responsibility for their entire journey. The truth is, her angelic vibration naturally attracts people who are searching for light. Some will use that light to find their own path. Others will try to live inside it. Learning to tell those two groups apart is not selfish. It is necessary, because the same gift that allows a spicy Lady Sigma to heal others can also drain her if she forgets that her energy deserves protection, too. Number 6. Their intuition is often mistaken for luck. They leave situations before disaster arrives. They distance themselves from toxic people before the mask falls. One of the most misunderstood qualities of a spicy Lady Sigma is her intuition. From the outside, it can look like luck. People see her avoiding bad situations, stepping away from the wrong people, or making decisions that later turn out to be exactly right. They assume she got lucky. But what many people call luck is often something much deeper. It is observation working quietly beneath the surface. A spicy Lady Sigma tends to notice things that most people overlook. She pays attention to small changes in behavior, inconsistencies in stories, shifts in energy, and subtle patterns in the way people act. She may not consciously analyze every detail, but her mind is constantly gathering information. That information eventually forms a feeling, and that feeling is what people call intuition. Have you ever met someone who seemed perfectly charming, yet something felt off? You could not explain it. There was no proof, no obvious reason to be concerned, yet a small voice inside kept telling you to be careful. Many spicy Lady Sigma experience this regularly. The difference is that they learn to respect that inner signal. There have been countless situations where a spicy Lady Sigma quietly stepped back from a friendship, a relationship, or an opportunity without fully understanding why. Months later, the truth emerged. The trustworthy friend turned out to be dishonest. The promising relationship became toxic. The exciting opportunity revealed hidden problems. People looking from the outside often say, "Wow, you were lucky you got out when you did." What they do not see is that her decision was not random. Her subconscious mind had already noticed warning signs long before her conscious mind could explain them. This ability becomes even stronger because spicy Lady Sigma spend a great deal of time observing rather than constantly reacting. While others are focused on what people say, she often notices what they do, and actions reveal far more than words ever can. Of course, intuition is not magic. It is not about predicting the future. It is the result of experience, awareness, emotional intelligence, and pattern recognition working together in ways that are difficult to put into words. The wisdom here is simple. Not every warning comes with evidence. Not every truth announces itself loudly. Sometimes your mind sees something before your logic catches up. That is why a spicy Lady Sigma often avoids storms before the clouds become visible to everyone else. Others call it luck. She eventually learns it is one of the most valuable gifts she possesses. Number 7. They feel responsible for problems they did not create. One of the heaviest burdens many spicy Lady Sigma carry is a responsibility that was never truly theirs to begin with. It starts with a good heart. When a spicy Lady Sigma sees someone struggling, her natural instinct is often to help. If a friend is hurting, she wants to comfort them. If a family member is facing difficulties, she wants to find a solution. If someone she cares about is suffering, she feels that suffering deeply. While this compassion is one of her greatest strengths, it can also become one of her greatest challenges. Over time, many spicy Lady Sigma begin carrying emotional weight that does not belong to them. They start feeling guilty when people around them are unhappy. They blame themselves when relationships fall apart. They wonder if they could have said something different, done something better, or somehow prevented the outcome, even when they had no control over the situation. Imagine a friend repeatedly making poor decisions despite receiving good advice. The spicy Lady Sigma listens, supports, encourages, and tries her best to help. Yet when the situation falls apart, she still feels guilty. She asks herself, could I have done more? That question follows her far more often than people realize. What makes this burden so exhausting is that life constantly reminds us of an uncomfortable truth. Not every problem can be fixed. Not every person can be saved. Not every outcome can be controlled. Yet, because Spicy Lady Sigma cares deeply, they often struggle to accept this reality. They see potential in people. They see possibilities. They see ways things could improve. And when those improvements never happen, they sometimes carry disappointment that does not belong to them. The wisdom they eventually learn is life-changing. Caring about someone is not the same as being responsible for them. You can support a person without carrying out their entire journey. You can offer guidance without becoming accountable for every choice they make. You can love people deeply and still recognize that their decisions belong to them. This lesson is not easy because compassion naturally pulls them toward helping. But emotional maturity teaches them where their responsibility ends and another person's responsibility begins. The truth is, a Spicy Lady Sigma's heart often feels bigger than the space it occupies. She wants to ease pain wherever she finds it. But one of the greatest acts of self-respect is understanding that some battles belong to other people. Her role is to offer light, not to carry every burden she encounters. And when she finally understands that difference, she frees herself from guilt that was never hers to carry in the first place. Number 8. They rarely enjoy harming anyone even when angry. Many Spicy Lady Sigmas struggle with cruelty. They can be incredibly firm when necessary, but unnecessary destruction feels unnatural to them. One of the most defining traits of a Spicy Lady Sigma is not just how she handles people, but how she restrains herself when emotions run high. Even when she is hurt, even when she is angry, there is something inside her that resists cruelty. She may be firm. She may be direct. She may set boundaries that feel uncomfortable for others, but the idea of causing unnecessary emotional damage does not sit well with her. This is not weakness. It is inner control. Many people react to pain by trying to pay it back. They raise their voice. They insult. They try to win the emotional battle in the moment, but a Spicy Lady Sigma often processes things differently. She feels deeply, but she does not allow her emotions to turn into destruction. For example, imagine someone betrays her trust. The natural reaction for many people might be revenge, gossip, or emotional retaliation. A Spicy Lady Sigma may feel the same hurt even more intensely than she shows, but her response is often measured. She may distance herself. She may speak honestly about what happened, but she rarely tries to destroy the other person just to feel better. This is because her strength is not rooted in domination. It is rooted in awareness. She understands that harming others often leaves a lasting weight on the mind. Even if someone deserves consequences, she is selective about how far she takes things. Not because she cannot go further, but because she chooses not to become someone she does not respect. There is also a deeper emotional reason behind this. Spicy Lady Sigma are often highly perceptive. They can see beyond behavior into what might have caused it. This does not excuse wrongdoing, but it adds complexity to how they respond. Instead of pure anger, there is often reflection mixed with emotion. That does not mean they tolerate disrespect. In fact, when boundaries are crossed repeatedly, they can become extremely firm and unmovable. The difference is that their firmness is not driven by a desire to hurt. It is driven by a need for self-protection. Think of it like a door closing, not a door crashing. What makes this quality powerful is that it prevents unnecessary destruction in relationships and in life. Many conflicts escalate because people want to win. A Spicy Lady Sigma is more likely to want resolution or distance rather than emotional warfare. In the end, her restraint becomes part of her strength. She does not need to break others to protect herself. She simply chooses clarity over chaos. And that choice says more about her character than any reaction ever could. Number 9. They often resist their own light. One reason Spicy Lady Sigma suffer is because they spend years trying to appear ordinary. One of the most overlooked struggles of a Spicy Lady Sigma is not what the world does to her, but what she does to herself without even realizing it. For many years, she may try to appear simpler than she really is. Not because she lacks confidence in a loud way, but because she becomes aware, often early in life, that standing out can create discomfort in others. She adjusts. She softens her voice in situations where she has strong opinions. She downplays her insight, even when she sees the full picture clearly. She hides emotional depth because it often feels like too much for certain environments. Over time, this becomes a habit. She learns how to fit in by shrinking parts of herself. For example, in a group discussion, she might know the answer immediately, but stay quiet because she does not want to dominate the space. Or in emotional situations, she might understand what is really going on with someone, but choose not to say it because truth can sometimes change the mood in uncomfortable ways. While this adaptability helps her survive social spaces, it also creates an internal conflict because deep inside there is another version of her that sees clearly, feels deeply, and understands life on a level she rarely expresses. The tension between these two sides becomes exhausting over time. The truth is, many spicy Lady Sigma do not fear failure. They fear visibility, not attention itself, but the pressure that comes when others start reacting strongly to their natural abilities, intuition, or presence.so. Instead of allowing their full expression, they reduce themselves to what feels acceptable in the moment, but hiding your light does not remove it. It only dims your experience of it. There comes a point in life where this pattern starts to feel heavy. Opportunities pass by. Conversations feel incomplete. And relationships sometimes lack depth because she is only showing a fraction of who she truly is. The important realization is that her gifts were never the problem. The environment was simply not always ready for them. Understanding this changes everything because her insight, emotional intelligence, and depth are not qualities to suppress. They are qualities meant to be directed with awareness, not hidden out of fear of reaction. A spicy Lady Sigma begins to grow when she understands that making others uncomfortable is not the same as doing something wrong. Sometimes clarity feels intense. Sometimes the truth feels heavy. Sometimes intelligence feels intimidating to those who are not used to it, but shrinking herself does not serve anyone. When she finally stops resisting her own light, she does not become someone new. She simply stops abandoning who she already was. Number 10. Acceptance unlocks their highest purpose. The angelic vibration is not perfection. It is not superiority. It is the unusual ability to bring clarity, peace, understanding, and growth wherever they go. At some point in life, a spicy Lady Sigma starts to notice something important. The very qualities she once questioned are the same qualities people quietly benefit from. Her calm thinking, her emotional depth, her ability to understand situations without needing attention, and her natural sense of direction are not flaws to fix. They are strengths waiting to be accepted. The so-called angelic vibration is not about being flawless or above others. It is not about superiority or trying to appear special. It is something far more grounded and human. It is the ability to bring clarity where there is confusion, peace where there is tension, and understanding where there is misunderstanding. Yet, many spicy Lady Sigma spend years underestimating this part of themselves. They may shrink their thoughts to avoid sounding too intense. They may hold back their insight to avoid standing out. They may even question whether their depth is too much for certain spaces. Over time, this creates a pattern of self-restriction where they become smaller versions of who they actually are. The turning point begins with acceptance, not external validation, not applause, not permission from others, just the quiet decision to stop treating their natural traits as something that needs correction. When this shift happens, everything changes. She stops over-explaining her intuition. She stops apologizing for seeing things clearly. She stops reducing her voice just to make others more comfortable. Instead of trying to fit into environments that limit her expression, she begins to move in ways that align with her nature. In everyday life. This shows up in simple but powerful ways. In conversations, she becomes more honest. In decisions, she becomes more grounded. In relationships, she becomes more aware of what she allows and what she no longer tolerates, not out of ego, but out of clarity. And the most interesting part is that her influence grows naturally, not because she is trying to lead, but because she is no longer hiding. People begin to feel it. Her presence becomes more stable. Her words carry more meaning. Her silence becomes more intentional. This is where her real purpose begins to unfold. Not as someone who controls others or tries to fix everything around her, but as someone who simply exists in alignment with who she truly is. And in that alignment, She does something powerful without force. She uplifts. She inspires. She elevates the people and spaces around her simply by no longer resisting herself. Final words: some people are not loud in life, yet everything around them becomes clearer when they are present. When you look at everything we have explored, one truth becomes very clear. The Spicy Lady Sigma experience is not about being distant, mysterious, or untouchable. It is about depth that is often misunderstood in a world that moves too fast to notice subtle strength. She carries a way of seeing life that is quieter but sharper. She notices emotions others miss. She senses patterns before they become obvious. She brings calm where confusion grows. And she offers understanding in moments where most people only offer reactions. This is why her presence often feels different, even when she is simply being herself. But the same qualities that make her powerful can also make her question herself. She may hide her insight to avoid standing out. She may carry emotional weight that does not belong to her. She may even underestimate the influence she has on others, simply because it does not look dramatic from the inside. Over time, this creates an internal conflict between who she is and who she thinks she should be. The real shift happens when she stops treating her nature like something to adjust and starts recognizing it as something to understand. Her calm is not emptiness. Her sensitivity is not weakness. Her intuition is not luck. Her emotional awareness is not too much. It is simply rare. And rare things are often misunderstood before they are valued. The so-called angelic vibration is not about being perfect or elevated above others. It is about bringing clarity, peace, and emotional awareness into spaces that often lack them. When she accepts this, she stops reducing herself to fit environments that cannot fully define her. Instead, she begins to move with quiet confidence in who she already is, and in that acceptance, her life does not become louder. It becomes clearer, more intentional, and more aligned with the impact she was always capable of having. Thank you for watching, and God bless you.